Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have an advocate from the community as well as executive director of a nonprofit organization that's doing positive things here in our community. So make sure that you stay tuned for my interview coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I am being joined by a community advocate and all-around person, Miss Lanona Jones, also known as Lee. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Alton.
Well, Lee, I know I said a community activist and all-around person here in our community. Lee, just tell us a little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
Well, I'm the Secretary-Treasurer for Calumet Park Neighborhood Association here in LaGrange.
Okay.
And I'm also the founder and executive director for Inspire Positivity, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on disability rights and advocacy.
Oh, okay. All right. And you talked about Calumet Park. For those, there may be some people that don't know where Calumet Park and the Calumet community, just kind of give a boundary of where that location that is located.
Well, Calumet Park is located right off Lafayette Parkway and Union Street. So that is our area right through there. Union Street, Hines Street, East Depot. That's the Calumet Park area.
Oh, okay. All right. And talking about the Calumet Park, I know that back last month there was an event that took place there in the park itself in celebration of Juneteenth, which was actually on June 19th on the Saturday. And unfortunately, it rained a little bit, but I do understand that there were a number of vendors there. Talk a little bit about that for us, if you don't mind.
Yes, there was rain, but it didn't stop us. We had a wonderful celebration. We had many vendors to come out. We had food trucks. We had other food vendors. We had retail vendors there and other community partners. We had a mini job fair. The UJ Extension Service was there talking about how to grow vegetables. We had Get Troop Reading was there. Trust Building was there. Just many of partners supported us. Mayor Thornton came out and spoke. Chief Dekmar, Patrick Cruz was there. We had a really great turnout.
Very good, very good. And I know that there's a planning committee that may be looking and planning for next year to have this event to grow and become more of a community-wide event. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. We are now asking people that might want to be a part of the planning committee to get in touch with me at Calumet Park Neighborhood Association. We are looking for committee members. We do plan to have the Juneteenth celebration next year. It'll be on the 18th of June for next year. And we're also planning a parade as well. Okay. So we do need a lot of committee members and volunteers to help us to make this be a great event.
Oh, okay. Well, very good. And you're the executive director and founder of Inspire Positivity. Talk a little bit about that for us, if you don't mind.
Well, Inspire Positivity is a disability advocate for rural Georgia counties. And what we do is educate people with disabilities about their voting rights. Understand, if they have a certain type of disability, where they can go for help and some of the resources that they can get to be able to go and cast their ballot or do an absentee ballot. Oh, okay. So we advocate for people with disabilities, for healthcare reform, for disability voting rights, and just about anything that they might be concerned about regarding their ability to just navigate their everyday quality of life.
Okay. And it's so important because a lot of times, individuals, and some disabilities you can identify, then there are some disabilities that you don't necessarily see or they're not visual to the eye. So it's important that individuals with disabilities are included in various things such as voting and other aspects of life too.
Absolutely. We had a great turnout for the general election and the runoff as far as getting people with disabilities out to vote. So we're really happy about that turnout and increasing those numbers. And we hope to do that again this year for the local and state elections.
Okay. Let me ask you, in talking about and dealing with individuals that may have a disability, what have you found to be maybe the number one issue that they may suffer with?
The biggest barrier is being able to get transportation to vote, or knowing how to submit an application for an absentee ballot and what that requires. And that's what we found in rural counties is the biggest issue, being able to get a ride to their precinct to cast their ballot, or to know how to submit an application online or through the mail to get their absentee ballot to be sent to them. That was the biggest barrier.
All right. Well, very good. We're glad to have, an advocate in the community that can help bridge that gap so that individuals with a disability understands what their rights are. So very good in that respect. And I know today, Lee, you're here to talk about an event that's coming up that individuals can get involved with, and that's going to be the Family Fun Festival. Talk a little bit about that for us, if you don't mind.
Yes, we're really excited about the planning of the Family Fun Festival that we're going to have on Saturday, July 24th at the East Cannon Street School. And we're planning to have food vendors, retail vendors, a lot of fun activities for the family and their kids. We're also going to, again, talk about SB 202, which is the new voting rights bill. We want to educate community on some of the changes that have happened, some significant changes. And we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to find out about what the changes are and ask any questions that they might have. And we're also doing this event as a way of community engagement for the southeast side of LaGrange. Just bring the community together, have some fun, let's talk. We'll do welcoming community dialogues, ask community what their needs are, and, give them some information about some upcoming things that are happening in the city.
Oh, okay. Well, very good. And that's going to be July the 24th over at the Cannon Street location. It basically says for community engagement, if somebody wants to get involved, or is this free to the public, or talk about how they can get involved, people can get involved?
Yes, this is absolutely free to the public. Vendors will be charged $25 to be able to participate. And if you want to get involved, you can contact me, Lee Jones, at 404-635-8446. And we'll sign you up if you'd like to be a volunteer. If you want to be a vendor, we'll get you registered. But yes, please call. We want people to call and volunteer.
Okay, all right. And when you're talking about, gatherings and things of that nature, and even though we are coming out of what we believe to have been a horrendous year last year, and then we do see that there may be some little upticks in the virus community once again happening. How are you all preparing for individuals? Because we've been talking about large crowds. How are you all preparing to help keep the people safe?
Well, we're still adhering to the COVID-19 restrictions regarding outdoor events, and we're encouraging everyone to wear a mask and to practice social distancing. And we will be making announcements throughout the event to remind everyone that we're still under those guidelines and to be as safe as possible. And we will be requiring vendors to wear masks and have hand sanitizers at their stations.
Okay, all right, well, very good. And again, I know this is a very worthwhile cause in our community. And you were talking about community engagement. I mean, even as we come out of, being sheltered in place and things of that nature, why is it so important to be able to get back into community engagement, in your opinion?
Well, it's important for our mental health. We've been, at home for a year and a half, not being able to get out and socialize with our neighbors, our family, or our friends. And this event is being promoted as a way to get back out and see your friends, spend time with your family, and have some fun, so that we can get back to some semblance of normalcy and, try to get our happiness back. Because I know for me, the pandemic was challenging, because I'm not used to being in the house, all the time, and even working, from home. I'm used to being out and advocating and, just interacting with my community. So this is another way to get, to accomplish this and get the kids prepared to get back to school. Something fun before they start school back in about 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness, it's already time.
It's already time.
Now I know that this is not only being sponsored by Inspire Positivity, but Artisan and People's Agenda. Talk a little bit about those organizations, if you don't mind.
Well, the Artisan is a community development organization that's working in the community for education, workforce development, and community engagement. the People's Agenda focuses on voter rights and education. So we work very closely together in the community to have events such as Juneteenth and the Family Fun Festival, as well as the Alternatives to Violence Project LaGrange chapter. These three organizations are working closely to bring a different perspective into our community about how we approach violence and aggression in our communities. We're trying to give a different perspective to get people to understand that violence is not the way to go. We had a lot of violence in our community last year, like during the mid-pandemic. It slowed down a bit, but it's still going on. So we want to bring this into our community and say, hey, this is a better way. We can communicate, we can understand one another, and we can find ways to mediate our differences and our oppositions with one another.
Absolutely. And I do remember getting emails about the other way to violence, and so I'm glad to see that people are looking at that and at least doing something about it. What would you say to those young persons that may be listening that want to be a part of one of these organizations? Because I think it's so important as we have various groups that we definitely include the young folks because of the fact that they're a future. So what would you say to a young person that may be listening that may be interested in joining one of these organizations?
Well, definitely contact me, and I can definitely refer them to our organizations. But the three organizations work very closely together. We meet on a weekly basis, and we'll definitely be able to connect with you.
Okay, all right. If you don't mind, give them that contact information one more time, just in case somebody missed it earlier.
Lee Jones, 404-635-8446.
Okay. Is there an email, Lee, that you could give out as well, or just phone would be the best way?
Email is inspirepositivity2020@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, very good. Well, again, we're here today talking with Lee Jones, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the upcoming Family Fun Festival on June the 24th. Lee, I want to thank you very much for coming on and being my guest today. And I know that the vendors will come out, the community will come out, because as you stated, we all been kind of sheltered in and then kind of, just getting back into the swing of things, but slowly. But so we definitely are ready to have some fun. So thank you all for bringing this program to the community, and I know it will be a very worthwhile and attended event.
Thank you for having me, Alton. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, well, thank you. Always welcome to come back.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from Inspire Positivity, Executive Director Lanona Jones, also known as Lee, as she talked about the upcoming Family Fun Festival that will be held on July the 24th over at the Cannon Street location. So by all means, if you want to be involved in something positive and get out and have a little bit of fun, give her a call. And if you want to volunteer, by all means, I'm sure they will not turn you away. So give her a call and get involved in a Family Fun Festival that will be taking place here in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this interview. And as always, I will invite you back for more of City Week.
I love LaGrange. It's not a big city. So working as a police officer, you get kind of to know everybody, know the streets, know where all the hot spots are so you can keep an eye on them, interact with everybody so everybody knows you. So to me, LaGrange is the perfect size city to work for, especially if you're working for a police department.
One thing that separates the LaGrange Police Department from other agencies is our pay. We're one of the highest paying agencies around.
Making contact with the community, helping others, being an ambassador to the city and for the city. It was an excellent department to work for. And those who've been with the police department for a certain amount of time are able to take home a car. It is a great benefit to the officer as well.
If you have a chance to go to school, like I have a bachelor's degree, and if I want to go and get my master's, they will put you to school to progress yourself. So it's a great place if you want to progress, if you want to get promoted.
There are several opportunities to grow in the LaGrange Police Department. Great group of men and women that has a common goal to protect the city and cut back on crime.
When you get here, you're treated like a brother or sister, and you're going to have older officers or generations that are going to take you in up under their wings, and they're going to actually teach you what you need to know.
We're CALEA certified. CALEA is the national standard for police departments.
Our chief is the former president of CALEA and a former president of the Chief Association. So we are held on a higher standard than other departments. It makes a lot of difference to work for LaGrange Police Department.
We do a lot of community outreach. With that, I think that we're making a difference in our community, showing a lot of support to our citizens, so they're giving us the same support that we're trying to give them. We have Paw Day. We bring the community together and let them see our dogs and interact with the dogs and do a lot of demonstrations. We also have a national night out where the department gets together with the community and we bring citizens out, let them see what different venues that we have set up for them to be engaged in.
Our Citizens Police Academy held at the training center, that's something that would inform people about all the questions they have when it comes to law enforcement.
We have the bike unit that you can join, the K9 unit. We have ESU, which is basically our SWAT team. Drug investigations, CID, community outreach unit, SIU. There's plenty of opportunities, especially being young coming in and getting started.
So whatever you're looking for a great opportunity and turn it into a career, LaGrange Police Department is the place for you.